Hi everyone, I'm Hannah, a grateful member of Al-Anon. Okay, so growing up in an alcoholic home, I'm sure that you can relate that I did not get healthy tools in which to do life. And life was very unmanageable. So I'd like to talk about 3 of my favorite traditions that act as tools for me to have a healthier life. So I started studying the traditions with a sponsee probably about a year ago, and I was saying to her that the traditions help me play nice in the sandbox with you. And luckily for me, at my workplace, there is an actual sandbox for little kids. Now, the big kids don't play in the sandbox because they think it's for babies. But one day, at work, 2 older boys decided to play in the sandbox, and they got into a fight over the purple shovel. And my fearless leader was very mad because she's big on older kids should be good examples for the little kids. And I had to, because of my job, I had to assess their injuries over the fight. And then I had to call the parents and tell them about their injuries and how I treated them. And my fearless leader said, when you're talking to the parents, be sure to tell them they got into a fight over the purple shovel. The purple shovel. Now, of course, I'm not going to do that, but she was being sarcastic, and she was doing it in front of the boys to make them see how ridiculous it was. So anyway, their consequences were they were injured, they got detention, and their parents got called, and most likely they got consequences at home. And probably the worst is no phone or no video games, and that's the end of the world for them. But, you know, in the disease of alcoholism, consequences can include legal problems, financial problems, divorce, physical health problems, fighting, homicide, broken families, and jail, and all the stuff that comes along with the disease. So, one of my favorite traditions is tradition 6. It helps me avoid diversions from my primary spiritual aim. And when the pandemic hit, because of my role at my job, I became the essential worker at my workplace. And so then came new policies, new protocols because of COVID, and the decisions that I had to make became very unpopular among my coworkers and then other people that are affected by my decisions. Some of my coworkers reacted angrily. Some tried to go around and rally troops and get other people on their side. I could hear the yelling from down the hallway to my office that I was this horrible, unfair person for making them do this, that, and the other. A couple of people formally complained to HR, and some people took it personal. So, because of this tradition, I am able to focus on the primary purpose. And at that time, it was to protect my work community, not their feelings. My decisions applied to everyone, not just the coworkers that I liked, because that would be personalities above principles, which is unethical, unfair, unprofessional, inappropriate. I was powerless over other people's feelings. I had to give them the dignity to have their feelings. And I did not have to jade. And if you know what JADE stands for, it's justify, argue, defend, and explain. Or sometimes I say explode. Because that's forcing solutions. You know, I didn't go marching down to the front office and tell them, what they're saying is not true. I can hear them all the way down the hallway. Or call HR and have to say, this is why I did what I did, and their complaints are baseless, and I didn't do any of that. I actually still have my serenity, and it's because of this program. And if I would have behaved in my old ways, it would be the great purple shovel war of 2023 happening again. So, that is a great tool that helps me. Probably my top favorite tradition is tradition 10. Outside issues and don't engage in controversy. Now, for someone who is addicted to excitement in all my affairs before program, it's tempting to engage in controversy and also generate it. This tradition is very closely linked to, for me, the acronym of THINK. Is it thoughtful, honest, informative, necessary, or kind? 90% of the time, what's in my head does not need to be said because it's not necessary or kind. And with that, about 90% of what happens around me is an outside issue. And I don't need to engage in controversy. And that is the wisdom of this tradition for me. I have family members who are expert fishermen and tug of war enthusiasts. And I also work with expert fishermen and tug of war enthusiasts. Even if I'm out in traffic, there are expert fishermen and tug of war enthusiasts. And my disease that was running the show before program always told me to take the bait, pick up the rope, and force solutions. My disease also told me to throw out the bait, drop the rope for them to pick up, because I just want to do the dysfunctional dance. It made me feel alive. It doesn't have to today. And I lose my serenity very fast. Again, if I pick up the rope, if I take the bait, it's the great shovel war of 2023 all over again. And I've also heard that, then we have wars, like world wars, So, one example is that, this tradition is the one that I try to be very, very mindful of, very intentional of when I'm with my family. My parents made the choice to appoint my brother as their power of attorney. And sometimes I'm in their presence and they debate and then they argue and they go back and forth. And today I don't need to even say anything because the program has taught me that my parents didn't appoint me power of anything, and they never asked for my opinion. And I don't need to educate them on the concept about double-headed management. Because I would love to do that. But that is something that I can take everywhere. At work, there's a lot of that. There's a lot of gossip. There's a lot of venting. And I don't need to give advice. I usually say, oh, I'm so sorry, that sucks. I hope things get better. But, you know, this tradition has given me a better way to interact in a healthy way instead of an unhealthy way. Tradition 11 is about attraction rather than promotion. Last year I went to a workshop given by District 5. And it was the best presentation I had ever heard on the traditions. And for tradition 11, there was a graphic that was put up on the screen, and it's a lighthouse in the evening shining. And the quote says, "Lighthouses don't go running all over the island looking for boats to save. They just stand there shining." And I'm like thinking, wow. You know, because before program, my MO is there's no light shining, but I'm running around the island trying to grab boats. That's not attraction, that's called kidnapping and hostage taking. So, what wisdom? And so when I'm working the program and hopefully exemplifying the program, I can be a good example. Sometimes when I'm not and the disease is in control, hopefully, maybe I can be a good warning. Anyway, thank you so much for letting me speak. Thank you, Hannah. One more thing. I forgot my show and tell. So my sponsee, I told her the shovel story, and she got me a set of shovels, and she kept a set for herself, so we never have to fight over the shovels. And I have it hanging up in my office, so it says the 12 traditions help me play nice in the sandbox.